Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and first setup of the EMR-TEK Inferno panel. I have heard from several of you who have ordered EMR-TEK products that you just would like to see a little bit more in-depth like setup and how to. I know that some people are visual learners, so I thought this video would be helpful for some of you out there that just want to see everything step by step. And if you've just ordered an Inferno panel, you can use this video and follow along as you put yours together. It's pretty simple. It's going to be pretty easy, but there are some things that you have to attach. So we're going to go through all that. Also, if you are curious about the Inferno panel and everything that comes in the box, what it looks like, size, and all of that, this video will give you a good idea of that as well. Let's go ahead and get the box open and I will show you everything that is in here. EMR-TEK definitely does a good job of packaging things very, very securely. So here is the paperwork that comes with the panel. It's more, the tips on here are more about like how to use it, like dosage time and things like that. Not so much like the pieces involved. First piece here, this is for hanging it like on the back of a door. There is also eye protection included. They do recommend using eye protection for red light therapy, although it is a personal choice. I personally don't use eye protection. I just close my eyes if I'm like directly facing the panel. But besides that, I want the eye benefits that come from, you know, getting the red light in my eyes. We have the power cord. We have a couple cables with little carabiners for hanging options. And then another great thing about this panel is that it is modular, meaning you can get two of them and you can hook them together. And so there are a couple things in here that you will only need if you ever want to get another panel and connect them, and that's these two. So if you see, this cord has two ends like this. It doesn't have the end that you would plug into the wall. This is the one that you would use to connect two of the panels. And then this one you would use to connect the two panels in order to have only one of them operate, like the power switch on one of them operates both of them instead of having to turn both of them on. And they give you a little screwdriver to add the little rubber feet on the bottom. We have a pulley here, and that is for if you want to connect it to the pulley, and you can raise it or lower it depending on where you want it to be hitting your body. The last few things here, we have the little rubber feet, and we will be putting those on here in a second. We have another little tool here, and we have some little connectors. Now for the main event. Here is the panel. So for someone my size, and I'm about 5'5", this is about a half body panel. Just again wanted to emphasize their packaging and how well things are protected. We've got some metal things in the corners here so they can't get crushed, and keeps the panel safe. So here is a view of the back of the panel on its side, and we are going to be using these four little holes right here, and that's where the little feet are going to go. These other holes that they have here, I've never used them, but my impression is that they are for if you have a stand that you can purchase separately and, you know, mount your panel on a stand. But you don't have to worry about those for setup right out of the box. So we are going to use our handy dandy little screwdriver and put the screw down into the hole and just screw each of these into the four little holes. The reason for these, or my impression of the reason for these, is because you never want this right up against a wall or any other surface. So this just kind of gives that spacing. So if you do have it leaned up against a wall, you're not going to be obstructing the fans. So if you're not going to be hanging your panel or mounting it on anything, that's really all the setup you need aside from the power cord. So that's what we're going to do now. And then I'll just show you the other hanging options and like where you would put things if you were going to hang. So because we're not going to be connecting this panel to another panel at this point, we don't have to worry about this, and we don't have to worry about this at all. We're just going to connect our power cord right here. So now just to show you the basics of the controls, all you have to do to turn it on is you have to turn the switch on the back, and you can't quite see that, but it's right here. Turn that on, and then we have our display comes on. And to turn on the big cobs, you just hit the cob button and just the 5 big lights come on, and they're actually a combination of a whole bunch of tiny LEDs similar to these, but all directed in one direction. That's one of the unique things about EMR-TEK is this cob technology, and it really helps the red light penetrate into your skin more, and it's just great for getting all of those internal benefits. I know that the display here is flashing this because there's a flicker on the display. You'll notice there's no flicker with the actual red lights. That's one great thing about the EMR-TEK products is they've worked really hard to reduce the flicker to almost zero. I don't know that they can say zero, but it's not detectable even if you do like a slow motion camera. So it's really interesting to see the difference between how solid this light is on the video versus the flicker on this one. Then of course you can also turn on all of the little LEDs, and you'll notice that some of the little LEDs don't look like they're actually on, but that's just because those are the ones that are the near infrared lights, and you can't see those. Near infrared light is not visible to the human eye, but they are running. So while it's running, you can increase the time. It just increases by 5 minutes or decreases by 5 minutes with the up or down arrow. But I also wanted to mention, it took me a while to figure this out after I got my panel. When you have it off, if you adjust the time, and it'll adjust by 5 minutes each time, but it will remember the time that you set when you adjust it when it's off. And so every time you turn it on, it'll start at the same 10 minutes. So if you always do, 15 minutes for your red light therapy, you can just set it to 15 minutes. And then every time you turn it on, it'll be already at that 15-minute mark. Now, if you want to hang your panel in any way, you're going to need these 2 things. The first is these little nuts and bolts. It's like a connector, and we're just going to need 2 of these, and we're going to screw them in to these little holes here on the top. This is the top of the panel. And then this cable with the carabiner, you can just screw right onto the connector like this. So it feels very secure. You would hate to have a panel fall, but these just seem really solid, all metal, no worries. So there you have your connector. So you can connect these here, and then when you have this over your door, of course you would tighten it up on your door really nicely, and then this would hang like that. I haven't ever done that. I haven't hung my panel. I just have it on the ground, kind of leaned up against a bookshelf, and that works well for me. I sit in front of it. I stand in front of it, like facing it, and then turn around with my back facing it, sit down with my back facing it, turn around, sit with my front facing it. And that works out well for me. I haven't experimented with the hanging and the moving it up and down. So I know it can be intimidating when you open up the box and you see all this stuff, but I didn't even use any of this stuff to get the panel functional. I think the most important things that you need to get the panel functional are just the little feet on the back and the power cord. That's really all you need. And unless you're, connecting it to another panel, you don't need these. If you're not hanging it, save these for if you ever do decide to hang it. But all in all, it's pretty simple setup if you just go with the bare minimum. If you haven't heard my story about red light therapy and how it has transformed my health, check out this video and get the entire story. I also have a coupon code from EMR-TEK that will get you usually 20% off, sometimes 30% off, so you're going to have to check it for whenever you're watching this video. It is just the code Indigo. I have a link down in my description, so check that out. Check out all of their different panels. They have lots of different sizes. All of them are amazing. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.